What's up, you guys? Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulWrestling.com, here to bring you another in the series of Joe Hulbert's columns ahead of WrestleMania 35. This one about Daniel Bryan. If you like this, go click Joe's author page. Leave us a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe. Leaving a thumbs up really helps. It recommends the video to other people who might like it as well. Also, follow Joe on Twitter. Let's go ahead and get started. In the rather chaotic world of professional wrestling, things can certainly change rapidly. But considering the circumstances, Daniel Bryan's road to WrestleMania still appears staggering. After all, just 1 year ago, Bryan was the industry's most irrefutable babyface. He'd famously fought for his dreams and now returned home, re-entering the wrestling ring to widespread adoration and respect. His comeback allowed the genre's greatest fairy tale to continue, and with that excitement, multiple idealistic plans were plotted. However, an eventual title defense opposite Kofi Kingston was unlikely to have entered many fans' minds. In some way, though, that makes its existence all the more gripping. Either way, Bryan's aforementioned in-ring return took place at a destination of its greatest height. The WrestleMania 30 triumph that beautifully encapsulated a whole career of excellence. That felt fitting, and the crowd's response did too, with Bryan standing along Shane McMahon in a tag team match against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Bryan would rightly receive his first comeback victory, swiftly rejoining ranks stacked with potential dream matches as a result. The first of those would take place just 2 nights later, taking on WWE Champion AJ Styles in an eventually interrupted SmackDown Live main event. That match fell directly out of those aforementioned fan ideals, but Bryan's next direction would then take an unexpected shift. Welcoming Big Cass back after his own injury struggles, Bryan entered a 2-match program with the former tag team star, producing solid encounters that still felt counterproductive for some. The perception was that Bryan's organically ignited momentum had been halted somewhat, perhaps even dwindled on matches that were deemed unimportant. He then followed the Big Cass feud with a brief Team Hell No reunion, unsuccessfully challenging the Bludgeon Brothers for their tag team titles. Bryan next transitioned to the long-awaited return of his famed conflict with The Miz, a rare rivalry entrenched with history and emotion. The results were immediately strong, resulting in some engaging promo segments as well as an incredibly captivating SummerSlam affair as well. Their program continued too, with some suggesting that a WrestleMania payoff, until in November, Bryan's career took another defining redirection. He faced AJ Styles just before Survivor Series and altered the pay-per-view plans as well as his immediate future, turning heel and regaining the WWE title. That immediately allowed for another dream match, with Bryan taking Styles' spot in the upcoming champion versus champion clash. His opponent, Brock Lesnar. A match that once seemed inevitable during Bryan's prior peak. Fans would now finally see the ultimate David versus Goliath battle, incredibly just days after Daniel's stunning heel turn. The product would be spectacular, with Bryan making an amazing comeback as an enthralling main event suddenly emerged. In mere moments, the live crowd went from jeering in frustration to screaming in anticipation, desperate to see the crescendo they dreamed of. Bryan wouldn't leave that contest the victor, but his status as one of the world's greatest now seemed truly reestablished, emphatically silencing any dwindling doubts. In truth, he was only getting started, too, creating absolute magic opposite AJ Styles to closing out 2018 with arguably his finest pay-per-view match of the year. 2019 has continued that trend, especially of late, as Bryan, champion, proved integral inside the Elimination Chamber, taking part in one of the match type's finest, closing stretches, and in the process making his upcoming WrestleMania foe clear. Thriving opposite late edition Kofi Kingston, Bryan proved their chemistry unparalleled, and together, the pair convinced even the most cynical fan that Kofi was just moments away from shocking the world. At that point, Bryan's WWE title reign automatically reached new heights, and that the level refused to stop rising too, most recently taking part in a brilliant Fastlane triple threat and neatly capping off a wildly effective road to WrestleMania. With his match opposite Kingston now fast approaching, this destination may have once seemed unlikely, but in execution, the route taken has been nothing short of extraordinary. Daniel Bryan is in the midst of an incredible villainous streak, and this is the absolute peak of that stint thus far. Matched with a hero that in many ways symbolizes his own rise all those years ago, Bryan's comfort here only highlights his astonishing versatility. 12 months ago, no one would have questioned the thought of Bryan entering the next WrestleMania as champion, but a suggestion of his eventual portrayal would have been rather stunning, and his opponent almost unfathomable. Yet somehow, this match's whole existence feels seamless, arguably the event's most engaging affair. Probably his era's most beloved conqueror, Bryan is now quite possibly the finest antagonist within WWE's varied modern landscape. At this point, his brilliance is no longer up for debate, and instead, Bryan has reiterated his place in history within just a single year. If there was any misplaced doubt before, that's certainly been vanquished as of late. Daniel Bryan is a historically great performer, and at WrestleMania, he stands opposite the journey that once defined his career. That's a rare feat, but a fitting one nonetheless. A perfect example of this pro wrestling genius's seemingly limitless capabilities. Reminder, leave a thumbs up on this video. Go follow Joe Holbert and subscribe to Fightful.